my dudes and them getting hip to Nas. Yeah, I feel good. I feel good, you know. What's up, Randy?
Not much, man. Not much. What's going on with you?
Man, we might have to jump over a few people's heads, man. We not getting no help with the Superior Renaissance, man. You know, the Superior Renaissance, the Community Development Corporation, are you hip?
Yeah, I'm very hip. Recently I have been looked over the paperwork. I was introduced to your process and your future plans, and to me, in my opinion, it's one of the most successful, well thought out, ready to be implemented plans I've seen in recent history.
Yeah, I gotta agree, man. And coming from your mouth, those are tremendous words, because you're a historian.
Try to be.
You know, a researcher.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Is that still the case?
Yes, it is. With most of us, usually when we talk, we have to back our things up with data. So I learned that early on. So I got to digging and got to looking, and I got a great education. But yeah, you have to have facts.
Now, Randy, if I'm not mistaken, you ran for Cleveland City Council before?
Yes.
And of course, we know the outcome because Kevin is still the councilman.
Correct.
How did you fare in that race, if you recall?
I think it was a difference of maybe 1,000 votes. I think, if I remember.
A difference of 1,000. Are you telling me it was that close?
It was that close. It was
no,
25 years. Well, the people are waking up. They get up every day. They take the kids to school. We're life in life. We're living our lives, and we see what's around us, and it's not to the standards that historically our neighborhood has been up to.
Why do you think that 1,000 votes made a difference? What was it about your campaign that you learned from back then that you feel that you could fare much better now?
Well, I think that a lot of his support comes from the high risers.
The high rise, like the elderly?
Yeah, the elderly.
That's what you mean by high risers?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because that's new slang. I don't want y'all to think I came up with that. That's a good one, too.
It's the high riser.
That's a good, respectful word, the high risers.
You
know, instead of saying them old folks or mentally, the high risers.
Well, you know, now we have all types. We got people disabled as young as 22 that's living in those buildings, and then they got seniors all the way up to 80 or 90 years old.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, so it's a variety in those buildings. So I just call them high risers. When you have a captive audience like that, and I'm talking to the residents, they feel like their livelihood is controlled by the situation. They're very hesitant to cause any problems with their residency.
Now, is there some more the issue with your name on the ballot, or?
No, what happened was when we first started campaigning, we had some technical issues, and we missed the deadline. Okay. So we had to take an alternative route as in being a write-in candidate.
As being a write-in candidate?
Yeah, you have to actually write my name on the ballot.
Now, honestly, has your campaign, to me it hasn't, you haven't lost in any favor, nonetheless.
It's a righteous mission. I mean, me and you, we grew up in this
because
neighborhood.
Honestly, that's a difficult task.
Yeah.
If you're not on the ballot, it's like, in some people's mind, when you're on the ballot, that lends legitimacy to your campaign.
Right.
But just because you're a write-in doesn't mean you have any less legitimacy. You're a write-in. Hey, I'm there too. What it means is you got to do more observation. You got to do more research into the person's politics.
Right.
Well, at least that's what I will offer you to do, because just because Randy's a write-in, I know Randy for quite some time. You might want to study his politics because he's a champion for the people.
Well, I think, by me being a man of God, I started off as a street preacher when I was in my early 20s.
A street preacher?
Yes. I used to get on the corner with a little loudspeaker with my children, and we used to tell people about God. I come from a very religious family. Education was paramount, as well as respecting God, and it's taken me a long way in life. So yeah, that's how I really first got into politics, preaching on the street corner. I kind of hooked up with a council person, They asked me to back them. I said I would if they would champion a trade school down here. So for about 13 years, I've been championing for the east side. We have one on the west side. They just built it. I think it's somewhere around in the $40 million range. And I wanted one on the near east side where we could, let our residents.
Man, them trade schools, let me tell you, because where I graduated from, East Tech was a trade school.
Right.
And man, I wish more of our young brothers and sisters would have took advantage of them, sir. We was really just kicking it in school. Hey, yeah, what's going on? What's the party tonight? Roll something up, throw something back. Yeah. But they were teaching welding.
Yes.
Imagine if you had them skills right now. You wouldn't be out there bumming for change like you was when I seen you out there earlier.
30 for welders. The pay scale is anywhere from somewhere around 35,000 all the way up into the low hundreds.
They had auto mechanic, auto techs. They had this there at East Tech.
Auto mechanics, the average labor price per hour now is $100.
Researcher, man. Research. See, that's what I love about Randy, man. And you know what? Hold on, Randy. That's what some people take issue with is your prowess to do that, to do research and pull the numbers out.
Right.
You think you've made enemies like that, or there's nothing you care about?
Yes. But you have to address a problem. You have to understand the factors that's in the problem. If you don't know what the factors are in the problem, how could you ever solve it? 1 + what equals what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of get your head around what the problem is. And that's what led into the research. And then when I started doing the research, I got a good view of what the problem is. I have a good understanding of what it's going to take to change that problem. And I also have come in my heart, came to the conclusion of why it's happening.
Well, let's stop right there. In your mind, in your heart of hearts, what's been the biggest obstacle of success for this war, other than just saying, Kevin Conwell? What's
from my research, the linchpin in any development, any community, is your leader. And for right now, the council person is the closest governmental leader that we have in our community. And if they don't have foresight, if they don't do planning, if they don't do analysis of the current situation, whether you're progressing or regressing, we get what we've got. We got 25 years of being in office, and our community now is in worse shape than it's ever been. Economically, socially, the mental health crisis out here in the streets in our neighborhood is appalling, and it's a lot of factors that needed to be addressed a long time ago.
Well, hold on, Randy. I just had your opposition on, Mr. Kevin Conwell.
Yes.
And to his point, he's brought over $70+ million of development to the ward. So when you say these things, that's nothing to balk at.
Well, I'll say this. We have $1 billion corporation in Cleveland Clinic. But that doesn't mean me and you have $1 million in our pocket.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been making tremendous amounts of profit, and the community as a whole has declined. And I think that's unacceptable.
You got a high rise going up right here on 111th Superior that's going to be dealing with mentally, unstable people and elders. You got the Hitchcock for Women and Children Center. You got VA establishments built. What do you say to those things in the community?
I did research in the last campaign. We had over almost, I'd say about $4 billion worth of new development and construction projects that were going on back then and coming to our neighborhood. Out of all that money, when I went out and did research and took pictures, I seen New York license plates, I see Iowa, I seen California, I seen New Jersey. If those projects are here and they don't help the people that is in that community, what good is it? That's like going window shopping at Macy's. Yeah, I can go in and look at Gucci all day long, but if I don't have the resources in my pocket to obtain that, it's just basically wishing and dreaming. And that's what is prevalent in our community. a lot of resources come, and they have been coming since 1968 in the riots after Martin Luther King was killed. But we haven't seen any progress going on in the community. When you walk these streets, you don't see any increase in minority business ownership.
Are you saying, because you said there's money flowing
Yes.
since the 60s,
Yes.
are you saying money is being mismanaged?
Yes. I think it's being mismanaged and purposely being directed into projects and things that don't benefit the community on a whole.
In your mind, for what reason?
Well, to be completely honest, Glenville is set right in the middle of what they used to call the Gold Coast. This is one of the most valuable pieces of real estate in America. We have the second largest freshwater body of water in the world with Lake Erie. The only other one bigger is Antarctica, and that's frozen. Every industrial process needs water. We're the second best location for wind power in the country. That was done by Jimmy DeMora and the Russos when they were in office. Those studies were done. It's a lot of things that we could use to benefit our people, as far as schools and having cooking programs where we can feed the homeless. Matter of fact, doing a big push on mental health, getting vans and trailers out here and really going to the people and dealing with that and getting our community in position to move forward. I don't see any of that planning going on.
Well, they're saying with Elena Bell and Tony Evans Jr. joining the race, along with yourself, they anticipate votes being taken away from Conwell, but they're not quite sure if it's enough to ouster him from office. Right. And if you were to actually get into office, what have you identified in the city that's of most distress to you, whether it's in this ward or not, that you want to address, like right off the bat, if you were to be elected into office?
First of all, it's two. The cleanliness problem is a problem for me because, to me, that makes the training of our youth so much difficult. When they're not proud of where they stay and go to school and live and eat, it has a major effect on their psychology.
Yeah. I drive down the street and I see that, the fast food containers on the ground, and that's a little discouraging, man. Right. Like, you couldn't just hold up and get a little closer and toss it in the trash can. It's got to go right there. Why? Because you just don't care, huh?
But that goes.
You just so mad you out of work. You so mad the stamps ain't come in on time. You so mad somebody hit a lick on you. You so mad, man.
But that goes to what you were saying about Conwell State, how much millions he brought to the community?
70 plus.
70 plus, but you couldn't even get the streets clean. You couldn't, out of that 70 plus, you couldn't pull a little money to a side to have a cleaning crew out here making sure that what we're representing is excellence.
Hold on, to that effect, Randy, I gotta say, that's where the Superior Renaissance stepped in. Big shout out to Mr. Corey Wooten, for establishing the Superior Renaissance, for establishing the Superior Clean Team.
Right.
And for the past couple weeks, every other Saturday, I want to say, we've been out here cleaning up the community from 105, small sample size, from 105 to 125th, but it made a big difference because when you drive down in that area and that community is clean like that, it sets the example.
Exactly.
When we out there, people come out there and they be like, oh man, I'm bringing my weed whacker next weekend. I'm gonna join y'all. It enthuses people. Go ahead.
No, that's good. Just imagine if you were a developer or an investor.
Yeah, and you come down in the area and it's clean.
Come on. So that automatically puts you 1 or 2 levels below other places because the amount of cleanup that they would have to do. I think that's one of the basic things that you're going to have to do off the rip. Cleanliness of your area has to be a priority. The second most.
Of course, you got to plan for where the money's going to come from.
Well, that's negotiation. If you want a project in my community, we're going to take 1 or 2% of this project,
Go ahead,
we're going to reinvest back into the community.
Yeah.
And
fund these superior clean teams and such.
It's a win-win. A fair exchange is no robbery. But we're so used to getting like 90-10 splits, 95-5 splits, and that's not going to propel us into the future and where Cleveland is going. You
sound like Mr. Donald Trump. Yeah, let's increase the budget of NATO, raise it from 2% to 5%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey, man, I don't know if that's a compliment or a diss on the side.
No.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I love you.
If you Ukraine, that's a compliment. If you Ukrainian, that's a compliment.
Yeah. But in that same vein, we've talked over the years.
Yes.
We were younger men back then when we talked, but we had dreams and aspirations.
I'm still a player with it, but go ahead.
Always. Player T, always.
Okay.
But as we get older, we see that our vision changes.
Yes, sir.
Maybe when we were younger, we thought about a car.
Yes, sir.
At the point in stage where we are in life, now we're thinking about a home.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? We're looking about our long-term growth. I think that here in Glenville, that hasn't been addressed. The things that are being put in...
ownership.
Oh, it has to be the backbone of your community. They have to be a stakeholder. Isn't that the word we use all the time? Stakeholder. Yeah, you have to have ownership and an ability to progress in your community. If that gets stagnated in any way, your community is going to decline. But that's why Kevin invested so much money in University Circle. University Circle at one point in time used to be the armpit of Glenville. It used to be drug alley, prostitution row, but the hospitals and the residents of that area got together, pulled the councilman in, and whatever they did or however they got him to do it, he heavily invested in renewing Little Italy and University Circle. And now they're gems of the Glenville neighborhood.
Well, I'm going to say this. All you people that point fingers, you better start unifying. You better start working together and putting people like Randy that's got your interests at heart into position to bring your vision to fruition, or else you're going to continue to point fingers. That was one of the things that Kevin Conwell, his main thing when he pulls me to the side is, man, they're not coming to the meetings, meaning the people in the community where these decisions are being where the people where these decisions are being affected, they're not showing up to the meetings. And you got to know special interests are leaning on these people.
Passing out money, passing out checks,
and so, if we don't put their feet to the fire, they're going to do what the special interests has paid them to do. We're going to take a quick break, Randy.
No
problem.
We'll
be right back in a minute with Mr. Randy Willis.
Hollywood in the hood.
If it ain't ghetto, it ain't nothing. We got a lot to discuss. You have to come and join